Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of The Outer Worlds. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today. We have
Easy now.
savage test subjects. Hysterical test subjects. Oh,
Don't mess with the best.
I was gonna do the killing myself. So we are in human auditing, and there's another name for it. It's basically where they tested people, where Blakesley tested people. Why are there chocolate bars on the floor here? And the place is all destroyed. More than normal, that is. Human inquiry and auditing. Gorgon, a Spacer's Choice property. Volunteer induction. Incoming messages. It's not the best choice. From Blakesley. Subject, safety protocols. To all personnel. Safety guidelines. In order to minimize damage to company property and or personnel, please observe the following guidelines during the volunteer induction process. Do not touch and or handle the test subjects. Please refer or defer to security personnel. Avoid using inflammatory phrases or terms such as untested chemicals, consider patented Spacer's Choice formula. Test subject, consider valued volunteer, and cells, consider living quarters. Remind subjects that compliance is one of the requirements of their contract with Spacer's Choice. Do not interrupt official Spacer's Choice communications and or marketing while directing volunteers. And there's somebody's text over here. Architect's balls. Is that all the guidelines? Look, these people are coming here from Tartarus. Don't let your guard down. Don't get friendly. And don't get close. If everyone does their job right, these volunteers will leave this facility as free and upstanding citizens. Tartarus is a prison that we actually go to in the course of the main plot. I don't believe we have gone to, canonically, in this save, because I think that's later, very, very late in the game. But either way, that's a prison. Dr. Marion Blakesley, testing supervisor. Okay, so we have more messages over here. Upcoming changes. In light of certain recent developments, our friends at OCI have generously provided us with advice and guidelines intended to ensure the best possible outcomes for our research here at Human Inquiry and Auditing. To that end, we will be establishing new testing parameters and volunteer preparation guidelines, effective immediately. These guidelines will be provided to you at your stations. I really would like to congratulate you all on what you have achieved so far. Keep your heads down and your minds focused on the work, and the rest will come easy. If you have any concerns, kindly forward them to my assistant, Benjamin Marley. This is from Dr. Marion Blakesley as well. The one that we killed, obviously. Well, one of the two that we killed so far. And every volunteer, quote unquote, means just that, Miss, I believe, Sonoda. We're entering a vital phase of the testing process, and that means every volunteer participates in the trials. Did I misread that at the beginning? It's every volunteer, yeah. It's all the more critical that we maintain careful records of the dosages involved, of course. We're counting on you for that. Okay, and then we have outgoing messages. Displaying outgoing messages to Weaver by Sonoda, Miss Sonoda here. Help. Weaver, have you seen my office key card? If this is one of your little, quote, tests, unquote, it's not funny. Security is already at full burn. They're gonna lose their bolts when they catch me taking the long way around to the faculty areas. Please tell me it's sitting on your desk or something. Callie Sonoda, volunteer handler. Right, that's the person who handled that, that computer over there. White chocolate yummies. Employer rights. Under the Biased Labor Standards Act. This is like a thing, I believe. Or do I remember this from something else? I think it's like a real, like that's the term, the actual terms of labor rights. It's called biased for whatever reason. I'm not sure why they use that word. But it's like biased, maybe biased. Like, why would that be? That's weird. Let me actually look it up. Why? The reason I was remembering it is because I saw it before. And I was misremembering where I had seen it. We have seen it in this game. This is a pun. This is like a joke, but it's not like canonical, or it's canonical, obviously, but the point is it isn't like a main point. Nobody talks about it. It's just on a little asset. It's a reference to the Fair Labor Standards Act of the United States, 1938. So they change fair to biased. Unfortunately, I wish they hadn't used the word biased, because biased doesn't actually mean unfair. In fact, it can mean fairer than otherwise, because unbiased just means neutral. No, it's kind of complicated because everything has a bias, in the sense that, if we're talking more morally, a moral bias, or if we're talking physically as well, although the term bias doesn't get applied in physics, but everything has bias. Like, we have a bias to respecting gravity laws, for example. It's not quite the way I said it is probably not correct, but whatever. The point is, we are biased to not float away, and that is a bias as well. So I think the point is that it's kind of a joke. Instead of being fair, it becomes biased. But again, bias doesn't mean unfair. You can have a bias to justice, and that is by definition fair. Well, I guess. Well, if your justice, well, I guess you can have a bias to fairness, and that works as well. It's just what you aim for. Whatever. That's what biased means. Wage determined by merit of your work. Overtime may result in higher pay if the quality of said work is considered exemplary. Your employer has the right to dock your pay should you damage any facilities or equipment. It is your responsibility, not your employer's, to avoid workplace hazards. Halcyon Colony, Department of Labor. And I believe I have read that, or I read that very early in the Let's Play of the original game, and that's why I forgot about it. But it's a nice thing to read, because it's, it sets the tone and all that. Volunteer quarters. Again, prison cells. These are... There's nobody here. These are corporate guards.
I don't know how anybody volunteers to live in a place like this.
It's so homey, almost. Whatever brought these folks here, they were just people. Same as us.
Yeah, not marauders. Very important. There's an adrenotime machine somewhere in here. But the homey, it is pretty homey. Ooh, what did I just pick up? What is that? Look at that thing. It looks cool. It is a low-level one, though. It doesn't... Yeah. I can add to junk like that, sure. I'd never do that, but sure. I'll sell that one. I shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Welcome, volunteers. This office environment is where we will test your communication, paper management, and self-motivation skills. This is your time to shine. You may just find yourselves doing similar work at a real office someday. Remember, compliance with all instructions from facility personnel is stipulated in your contracts.
The mysterious figure hasn't said anything, though. That is most curious. There are enemies in here, though, so get ready for that. Oh, this door doesn't open. It's not a door. It's Altoona. That doesn't even look horrible. Okay, the enemies are going to be in here. Oh, yeah, they are. Excuse me.
Whoever was.
Mm-hmm. Pressurized injection suit. Yeah. What? No, you're fine. This is not great. Oh, sorry. Remolded power helmet. Pressurizing. Oh, stop it. I think we're gonna be fine. I swear the healing item doesn't heal me. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened there, but... Oh, wait. I'm taking damage. Oh, freaking hell. It's like a cloud. You keep it. You keep that thing. I'm just exploring. That was a hiccup. Oh, hi. Wow.
Everyone all right?
Whoa, I don't think so, dude. Alright is a very difficult thing to determine sometimes when I'm not paying attention to combat. I like it though, because it's very close quarters. It's difficult to predict where the enemy is gonna be, so I can be a little bit more aggressive with where I'm going and pay more attention to where I'm coming from, because there's some things in here that are kind of good. Not everything, evidently. So this door just didn't open. I wish it did, because that would have simplified my life quite a lot. Okay, everything else is irrelevant. And we have a terminal over here. Access restricted. Is it? Well, it turns out it is. No, I pressed the key twice. It's my bad.
I wish
Excuse me.
I could do that.
Not restricted anymore.
Welcome, volunteers. This office environment is where
She said that already.
communication, paper management, and
Yes, she did.
motivation skills.
I remember the paper management. She might have repeated that. She might have said that twice, and I didn't notice. And I hope she didn't, because I listened to it the second time around. Are those guys taller than normal? These guys. Remember how I said don't use a sniper rifle for close quarter combat? Yeah. Shotgun for long range combat is also not pretty good. What is that? It is a test subject. You guys all right in there?
That's the last of him.
That worked out. So they are test subjects. I swear they're bigger than normal. They do these karate kicks. Sort of weird. It's not very common that we see that. That's all I'm saying.
Welcome, volunteers. Here
Yeah.
we will be demonstrating
She has two things.
skills in a simulated working environment. As in any work environment, inattentiveness can have disastrous consequences.
Maybe she didn't say that.
Any accidents will negatively impact your chances of completing the volunteer program.
I think maybe each room has its own audio.
Wow, you could spy on just about everyone from here. Mr. Thompson would have been over the moon.
Mr. Thompson is the supervisor of Edgewater's salt tuna factory or canning facility or whatever it was. Yeah, this place is all about making sure data is put into spreadsheets and whatnot. That's hot in there. Okay. Where are we going with this? Oh, to a barred door. That's where we're going. Which means this might be a shortcut, rather than necessarily a way back.
All right, deep breath, Felix.
Yeah.
You're about to see something real twisted.
Well, we haven't... Oh. Yeah, there's test subjects in here. Pressurized injection suit. The pressurized injection suit uses a series of pressurized mechanical syringes to feed precise dosages of liquid compounds directly into the test subject's bloodstream at multiple points throughout the body. It's all very scientific. It's also very expensive, so I like it. But I didn't read that before. And maybe I should have. Okay, I don't need this plasma launcher. Got a lot of people without legs and whatnot. And heads. But then again, that's what I do to them as well. Where does this go? Ooh. Space is sea ice. I'm always half expecting to see those.
I don't want to see no more. I can't take this.
Let's get out of here, boss. We've seen enough.
You can stay back if you want to. Oh yeah. Seem to have been fed into the machine potentially or something. More barred doors. What was I saying? I was saying something. Is that cubes of people? That's cubes of people. That's cubes of people. They are doing cubes of people. And putting the cubes of people in the trash disposer. Did I miss one of these things before? I think I might have. Thank you for using Gimsy. Oh yeah, the messaging system. Incoming. I don't want to play anymore. Let's just do our jobs, okay? This is like a bet going on. Alright, my 10 bits are on 52F. I know what you're thinking. He's so skinny. That's gotta be bad odds. But I'm a gambling man, Victoria. And I've got an eye for this now. What do you think? I think this is the betting thing. No, I'm not talking about the subjects, Vicky. I'm talking about the numbers. I've been keeping track of how many bodies we process every day and every week. And the number fluctuates, but never too much. 1 in 3 and 2 and 5 and 1 in 1 and 2 and then 10? Just look at the chart I left on your desk. Hiccup, I'm sorry. You can see for yourself that there's a pattern. You see it, right? I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I think I left a computer back here. These things don't matter for anything. I could swear I left a computer up here. Right, volunteers. We don't need to worry about that. We didn't go this way, though. And that is where you're supposed to go. Also, there's enemies. So let's not go there. Let's see all the horrible things before we go there. Although there's also an objective over here. Oh, this is the entrance. It's the main entrance. I think. Oh, it looks like. Oh no, yeah, it definitely is. Good. So I was on the right track. I mean, just now I was on the right track. I just figured I did a bad thing. Is what I mean to say. I shouldn't have come down here. No, there's gonna be enemies up here, or maybe. Oh, the phonographs.
I don't believe we've discussed side effects, Dr. Ambrose.
The drug's not ready for release yet. The side effects are immaterial.
So it's dangerous. Perhaps it was... forearms, maybe? Or a second head?
Try delusion, paranoia, gastric bleeds, violence, and fatal insomnia. Shall I enumerate every way our volunteers have died? Suicide by automech, suicide by hanging, starvation.
Cut the recording, Georgie.
You sure, boss? I just put on a new cylinder. Stroke, spontaneous combustion, internal exsanguination.
Just turn it off.
Oh, it was Georgie that we read before. No, it wasn't. Georgie was the one that pulled it. It's a different Georgie, potentially. Oh.
Get him strapped down!
Dr. Blakesley.
Subject demonstrates catastrophic personality collapse. Fucker bit me.
Marion.
Interesting. I think I'm going into shock.
Okay, so that was the side quest. That's what we're supposed to get these things. But there is another thing over here. There's another mission, which is you need to access Blakeslee's terminal. Now, where is that? It's 50 meters in that direction. So maybe I was right, despite being wrong. I don't know. What? Okay, nothing here. There's a computer over here, though. Welcome, Johansson R. There's a bunch of observation logs. Compliance testing parameters. There's a lot of things. Oh no, there's a lot of things as well. Like a lot of sub stuff. Subjects SC1A through K were given forms and writing implements and instructed to fill them out to corporate standards. Upon completion, forms were placed into an employer-sanctioned shredding device by a technician. Test was then repeated. Observation notes. D. Kendall objected to further testing after completion of second set of forms. G after 5th, volunteer B after 10th, no further objections from remaining volunteers. Hobbs, that's E, was discovered to be functionally illiterate and tagged for early advancement to the second phase of compliance testing. Objection from volunteer D, who was, yeah. Subjects SC5A through K were given visual demonstrations of multiple physical exercises. No thank you, technical or testing assistant Lehman. Then instructed to replicate them in accordance with verbal instructions. Subject H complained of physical exhaustion after 5 minutes, missing numerous verbal cues. Subject A, E, and K failed out at around the 15-minute mark. Test was terminated after 30 minutes as the technician became too hoarse to provide instructions. Subjects are instructed to follow a closed circuit around the perimeter of the testing chamber for the duration of the test at random intervals. Technician is to provide vocal cues to reverse course. Observational notes of the 8 test subjects remaining in group SC27, 6 respond to vocal cues. Subject 63D became aggressive and was removed. Subject 63B collapsed 30 minutes into the experiment and was removed. Remaining subjects exhibited compliance with all vocal cues for remainder of experiment. Technician's addendum. Observational data compromised due to, quote, equipment failure. Technician Embry S. was found incapable of continued operation due to incessant weeping. It was withdrawn, flagged for disciplinary measures. Subjects are isolated and instructed to select one member of their experiment group for immediate removal from the volunteer program. Subject A volunteers. Subject F. B is unresponsive for the duration of testing session. C deliberates for 5 minutes 36 seconds before volunteering. E. D is unable to recall the names and or identification numbers of her fellows, but has volunteered each of them in turn, citing immediate need for additional compound X injections. That's probably adrenotime. Volunteer F volunteer E E volunteers subject F. F refuses to comply with instructions for duration of testing session. G exhibits extreme confusion and extreme emotional distress, demands morning injection. Technician addendum. Time as of previous note is 1400 hours. Subject exhibits extreme aggression. Subject terminated. Subject is, that's SC86, is instructed to fire a shrouded target, one industry standard fashion modeling assistive device. That's a mannequin. Subject is not informed of nature of target. Observational notes. Subject has fired at target. Auditory reward initiated. Test reset. Subject has fired at observation window. Automated security enabled. Test reset. Subject has fired at subject. Other automated security enabled. Test reset. Subject has fired at, that's the same as before, as far as I can tell. And subject has fired at target. Auditory reward initiated. Test reset. Subject refuses to fire. Subject refuses to fire, and that continues apparently. Subject unresponsive. Okay. There's a lot of things in here. There's also messages. Incoming messages. There's a bunch of messages. Safety reminder. In light of certain recent incidents, I'd like to remind you all that it is paramount that we follow all Spacer's Choice guidelines regarding safety and security. Yes, you will suffer professional and financial consequences if you are found to be responsible for damaging company property. But here at HIA, inattentiveness and recklessness also endanger highly limited company resources and threaten our overall production schedule. Think about what we are all here to achieve, then consider whether you want to be the one that lets us all down. Luckily, any and all injuries suffered by the volunteers this past week have been minor. All testing will proceed as scheduled. A reminder that all personnel are advised to report to the infirmary if they experience any symptoms listed on the notice LeBlanc provided earlier this month. It is strongly suggested that you use your allotted break to do this, as any losses of productivity will be reflected in your paycheck and or indentureship agreement. And then we have just a question here. Hey, you and Andre talk about Toswell sometimes, right? Have you noticed anything different about him lately? I'm pretty sure he's been at his desk all night. I was going to congratulate him on his newfound productivity, but I took a look at his reports and just now, and some of them have very basic formatting errors. It's not like him at all. Maybe you could ask him about it. If something's wrong with his terminal, he probably should get it taken care of sooner rather than later. This is from Angus Juan. And then resets. If we're going to meet OCI's figures this month, we'll need to double our testing capacity over the next few weeks. To that end, I need everyone in observation to work with disposal to have the preparation time between tests. Have the volunteers exit at a jog if you have to. Try not to let them see the bodies. Yeah, that probably is related to what we read downstairs. And then we have hey from Hammond to Johansson. Look, Embry lost his head because he couldn't keep up with the work. He was never going to amount to anything, and we all knew it. The surprise is that he lasted this long. I don't know why my reports are any of your business to begin with, but I know how to use a damn computer. I bet Weaver put you up to this. I've been working twice as hard as anyone else in this office this past month, and now she thinks I'm going to outpace her. But maybe it's simpler than that. These emails used to just be a nuisance. Now I'm starting to think maybe your loyalties to some other corporation. Ooh, how dare they? That is like the worst accusation. And then we have some emails over here. Hey, Andre, Dr. Blakesley started to come down here pretty often, usually for the morning shift. She hasn't said anything, just watches us go through the tests for a while and then gets up and walks out. Weaver tried to give her a report, I think, but Blakesley gave her a look, and that was the end of it. You think we're doing something wrong? You tell me if you knew anything, right? I'll split my lunch with you again. Oh, and hey, great game last night, huh? This is a reply to Sandoval. Yeah, we're going back to mannequins for Phase 5. None of the test subjects felt too torn up about shooting killer bugs from Monarch, I guess. Should make things easier for you over in disposal, right? The best part is that one of the cages didn't close properly last night, and a couple of the little manti-peelers got loose. Who knows where they are by now? Marley had an absolute fit. I don't think he likes bugs. I think it might be a little bit more problematic than that. Holy crap. There's like a maze in there. We're gonna go in there later. Just not right now. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been The Outer Worlds. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.